Hi Dragons, welcome back. Here I'm setting us up for another interactive notebook page. We've been working out of the Durham Public Schools review packet. We've already done days 1 and 2. We are moving into day 3, and day 3 is a review about ratios. So this is going to give me an opportunity to put in a couple interactive notebook pages about ratios for you for a review. I would have done this normally, but we were going to do it at the end of the year as part of our EOG review. So, attached in your classwork in your Google Classroom is the Introduction to Ratio page. Now this page is not copyrighted, but I did use the material off of Carnegie to create it. So it's only going to be available on the Google Classroom to our students only. So once you get this out, if you're able to print it, go ahead and print it. If not, you're going to want to handwrite the sentences. So you're either going to print it or handwrite it. Those are the options. Here we go. Introduction to ratios. I understand the concept of a ratio and use ratio language. So this is right back at the beginning with these important vocabulary words here. Multiplicative reasoning, part to part, colon, part to whole, additive reasoning, fractional form, and ratio. So I have a word bank for you and 5 questions, and we just have to basically play a matching game. Which vocabulary word fits inside which blank? So, feel free to pause the video at this point and fill in the vocabulary words in their appropriate places. And after you've taken care of that and you've practiced your vocabulary, unpause the video and see if you get your solutions correct. Now, hopefully you've taken some time to try it out on your own. I'm going to go over the answers with you. A blank is a comparison of 2 quantities that use division. A ratio is a comparison of 2 quantities that uses division. There are 2 types of ratios. Blank ratios and blank ratios. We've got part-to-part ratios and part-to-whole ratios. Part-to-whole ratios are like fractions. Ratios can be represented in words with a blank, in blank, or with a model. All right, ratios can be represented in words with a colon, in fractional form, or with a model. Blank blank focuses on the use of addition and subtraction for comparisons. Additive reasoning. Focuses on the use of addition and subtraction for comparisons. Blank blank focuses on the use of multiplication and division. Multiplicative reasoning. Alright, so we've got the vocabulary section done. Right, and back when we did Introduction to Ratios in the Carnegie book, they did have us write some part-to-part and part-to-whole ratios. We're going to practice that now. Example 1. At the high school, there are 300 male students and 400 female students. We want to use colon notation to write 2 part-to-part ratios. So, we could say that there are 300 male students to 400 female students. Or we could say there are 400 female students to 300 male students. You can also simplify that ratio and say to every 3 males there are 4 females. Or likewise, for every 4 females there are 3 males. Using fractional form, write 2 part-to-whole ratios. What are you going to do to get the whole amount? You have to add the students together. Good. So, your first one. We've got 300 males to 700 total students. That can be simplified to for every 3 males out of 7 total. Number 2, 400 females out of every 700 total students can be simplified to what? 4 females to 7 total students. Now pause the video again, work out example 2 on your own, and then when you return, you'll see whether you got the questions right. Now when I work out number 2, example 2, Jimmy got 45 questions correct on a 60-question test. I know that Jimmy got 45 correct, but I also need to think about how many incorrect did Jimmy get on that test. Jimmy got 15 incorrect. So, using colon notation, we're going to write 2 part-to-part ratios. What are those going to look like? We got 45 correct to 15 incorrect, which can be simplified to 3 correct to every 1 incorrect. All I'm doing there is scaling down as if it were a fraction. Or I can flip it. I can say 15 incorrect to every 45 correct, which is like for every 1 incorrect, I got 3 correct. This ratio is equivalent to this ratio. This ratio is equivalent to this ratio. All right, in fractional form, we're going to write 2 part-to-whole ratios. We're going to start with the full number. We've got 45 correct out of 60 total. And that can simplify to 3 correct out of 4 total. All we've done there is scaled down. Scaling down by dividing by 15 in the numerator and dividing by 15 in the denominator. Number 2, the other part to whole that is agreeable to this problem. We have 15 incorrect over 60 total. And that can scale down to 1 incorrect to 4 total. Again, that scaling down is divide by 15, divide by 15. We're just simplifying the fraction. We're simplifying the ratio that's written in fractional form. So this page belongs on 67 of your interactive notebook. Should be right after these 2 foldables that we did. We're going to go ahead and pop that on here now. Now again, if you weren't able to print this out, no problem. Just hand write the notes on the page for yourself. And you will be all set, my friend. All set. It's perfect. You've done an excellent job. Introductions to Ratios, AIM page 67 for the 2020 school year is now complete. Thank you, Dragons.